अस्सलाम वालेकुम। पीएनवाई ट्रेनिंग से मैं हुस्ना खान आज फिर हाजिर हूँ एक नए इंस्ट्रक्टर और नए कोर्स को लेके। पीएनवाई ट्रेनिंग पाकिस्तान का बेस्ट आईटी इंस्टीट्यूट है। वी हैव
Sorry, so there was distortion, so I couldn't hear you anything.
I think there's an internet distortion. Sabda,
Now,
you
now I can hear you. Now I can hear you.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
yes.
How are you?
I'm great, perfectly fine, and thank you so much
Okay,
for having
okay.
me here today.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
It's an honor.
It's all yeah. It's all play and for PNY training. So अगर हम सफदर साहब की बात करें तो सफदर साहब माशाल्लाह more than a decade he has been teaching multinational companies. So before going toward our course and everything, I just need to ask Mr. Safdar Naqvi, how was your experience and why IELTS is so much important and what is the scope of IELTS or English language course preparation in Pakistan market? So please tell us.
Okay, I think at the first I need to tell you that IELTS is really essential because it's an international English language testing system. This is just a way to evaluate or recapitulate the level of the students, whether someone is capable to understand English or not. So basically, in IELTS, we recapitulate four modules. So whenever you step outside from your country and if you try to immigrate to English-speaking country, then you need an authentic international certification. So IELTS is really important. And I must say that before sitting for IELTS exams, you need to understand that it's an international test and it has a benchmark that requires you something. So you need to be confident and you need to have really good skills in language before applying for IELTS exams. That's very important. So whether you go for a study visa, whether you go for immigration visa, or whether you go for employment visa, you just need IELTS certificate. Sorry, the voice is not audible. I'm afraid.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, a bit.
Sabda, can you hear me?
Yes. Now clearly.
Yes, yes. I just need to ask what what is the yeah, okay, what is the key recipe of this course? What are the course content of this course? When you
Actually, the first of all, we guide the students, the right path to get success because we tell them that what is the basically the procedure or the pattern to prepare for the IELTS exams. and we rely on Cambridge material. And because there are the variety of the English tests, like in IELTS, even we find PBT test, IBT test, and OBT test, like paper-based tests, internet-based tests, and online-based tests. So we basically guide the students the right way for their selection. If the candidate he comes for the paper-based test, so we tell them and guide them that how they have to appear in the IELTS exams, and what kind of hindrance they're going to get through in the real exams. So we provide them a platform where they get an idea or they get a clear notion that how they have to behave in the real examinations. Apart from that, we tell them, we make them to listen different kinds of recordings, and we conduct their different mock tests that enable them and give them the confidence in the real exams. And we help the students relating to their registrations because we are affiliated with AU, and apart from that, we give them so many facilities. We conduct their mock exams here. We make them practice on previous IELTS material, which is very important. And apart from that, we instill and teach them the Cambridge series. So we basically tell them the right way of preparations. We don't waste the students' time because lots of institutions, even they don't have expert teachers. Although they have expert teachers, but they don't have practical examiners at their centers. But because I worked in the examination center for quite a long time, and I've got lots of experience because I started my career in 2009 as an invigilator for Cambridge English assessments, and then after that I worked as an interlocutor, the speaking examiner. So I conduct so many examinations. I conducted examination in Kashmir, in Pakistan, and apart from that, I conducted so many assessments with different consulates. So I think at the first we understand the real need of the student, which is very important because students have different needs and different requirements. Some
Hmm.
students who are good at language, who are good at speaking on one module, so we try to focus on the rest of other modules, so they would be able to get good scores. And our we run with a very in a very systematic way. Like one day we work on listening, reading, another day we work on speaking and listening, and on the third day we conduct a mock test. Along with it, we guide the student relating to templates, the writing templates, and we make them practice on frequent asked IELTS topics. And apart from that, we provide them more and more practices. So that really makes the students confident.
Oh, okay. This is perfectly fine.
Yes,
मैं अपनी ऑडियंस को भी बताना चाहती हूँ कि सफदर साहब ने कहा है कि रीडिंग, राइटिंग और स्पीकिंग के जो स्किल है
yeah,
उसके ऊपर मॉक टेस्ट दिए जाते हैं और पूरी प्रिपरेशन है, उनका खुद का एक्सपीरियंस है एग्जामिनेशन कंडक्ट कराने का। तो ये एक ऐसा फ्लेवर है कि सिर्फ आप पढ़ ही नहीं रहे, आप एक्सपोजर ले रहे हो, आप समझ रहे हो कि जब आप आइल का एग्जाम देना चाहते हो तो किस तरीके से आप कर सकते हो। सफदर, माय नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज द कोर्स ड्यूरेशन इज 2 months.
yes.
So, how so please define me the level in first week, second week. So what is the level you have divided in the duration of 2 months for the students?
Actually, when you talk about the IELTS examinations, like as you know that lots of students they are not really trained or they are well educated, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
for them, IELTS is like a scariest test. Usually, you take
yeah,
it as scariest test. So
yeah,
IELTS is very simple and easy test. You just need to learn a few techniques that how you have to handle the pressure of the exams during the test. Along with it, you just need to keep in mind that each type of test has a different technicalities to deal with, right? So we basically give different kinds of tips and techniques. We tell them that what kind of things they have to do during the test and how they have to perform it, which is very important because like suppose when students they come to us and they say that we are not good at English, we're not good at speaking. So
yeah,
we teach them the different sentence structure, we teach them different expressions, we teach them different language techniques. So this is we are working on. We are working on the shortcomings and deficiencies of the students. So on the first week, we work on different tips. On the second week, we guide them how to attempt the test, and on the third week, we enable them to take the test themselves. And in the fourth week, we somehow we prepare the students and we enable them to take these challenges and to work themselves, which is very important because we don't want our students to be dependent on teachers, because teachers are not going to take exams. And lots of institutions which really brag about their motto that yes, after training of 20 days or 10 days, you will be able to get 7 band. It's not actually possible, right?
Yeah.
It seems like you're asking a person that after reading a book or after completing 40 days you will be a doctor.
Hmm.
Right? So it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not a miracle that could happen in 10 days or 20 days. You need a constant practice for that. And
Okay.
definitely when you work strenuously and wholeheartedly, then you achieve your goal. We, we make our students to realize the importance of IELTS exams, and we don't want them to waste their money. So we really push them, we really encourage them, and we appreciate them that yes, you have to move forward, and it doesn't matter if you're falling for 5 band. Maybe in the next practice you will get 6, or after that 7. So I think encouragement is very important, appreciation is very important. But I have seen some institutions, they really degrade the students, let them down. So in the beginning their moral it gets shattered. So I think
Yeah.
confidence is very important. I have seen lots of students during my examination period that there were lots of good students, but because of the confidence level, because of getting nervous, they were not able to get good scores. So I think the most important thing is to instill confidence in the students, and this is what we do. And mashallah, this is the reason that lots of students and lots of institutions, they rely on us. The consultants, they send their candidates to us, and mashallah, we never disappoint we never disappoint the candidates, we never disappoint the consultants who refer their students to us, and they always get the desired bands.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is
We
very good.
want
But
satisfaction.
yeah, yeah, yeah. This is my second question with you, Sabdar, ke how many attempt you think how many attempt is required to get the 7, 8, or 9 bands? I think this is a initial requirement for any country to apply. So what do you think? Because this is the main question ना सबका यही होता है कि कितनी attempts होनी चाहिए कि हम इसको पास कर जाएंगे. So we give the
No,
realistic. Yeah,
no.
please tell.
I would never ask the student to give even second attempt, to be very
Okay.
honest.
Yeah.
There are simple strategies to get 7 bands or 8 bands. So I think student has to prepare himself enough before sitting for the real test. Because I really don't want students to fritter their a lot of money in examination, because
Yeah.
the exam fee is quite a lot nowadays. The current IELTS fee is like 37,320 rupees. So I really don't want students to waste their money. I want them to prepare themselves quite well before sitting for the examinations. And once they are prepared, then we should go for the IELTS exams. They
Okay.
can
Okay.
take as many time as they want, but I don't want them to waste their money.
Yeah, yeah. This is the
Yeah.
serious concern. Okay. What do you think? How much time required for the preparation after getting registered in this course for the 2 month? So, what is the ideal time to appear in the exam?
I must say that students need at least 2 months, all right, to get themselves prepared for the IELTS examinations. Miracles does not happen in a day, right?
Yeah.
So definitely you have to work on your shortcomings, and it takes a little time.
Okay.
So in our classes, we pay individual attention to our each students. We guide them, we nurture their skills. So I think to prepare yourself fully for the examination, you need at least 2 months. You need to work on your deficiencies and your shortcomings.
Okay, okay. My another question is, in PNY training we have a different flavor of students. Some housewives, professionals, or someone who wants to study outside the Pakistan after their entry for the graduation purpose. So how can you manage this pool of people in one class? Because everyone has the different capacity of learning. So what is your teaching methodology? What is your recipe to teach and motivate your students?
Okay, that's a very important question that you have asked. Because lots of students, as you said, that they do not have the same calibers and faculties to learn the techniques, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what we do is we normally see that if students he is good at one skill, then we work on his another weak skills like other skills like reading, writing, or listening. And in the same way, as I said earlier, that we individually pay attention to each students in the class, and the I must say that this is a reason that a lot of students get targeted bans and they do not appear again and again in the same examinations. I think this is quite rare and quite rare, I must say, that I've seen a student who has appeared twice in the examinations once he study here at PNY, because we give them a good platform. We work on the benchmark criteria and we tell them the set rules and patterns for that. So we always feel, when I have seen some of the institution, I will not take the name of them because it doesn't look good. But in Lahore, even we have so many good institutions. So even they get their students appear again and again in the examinations, and they squeeze them and take a lot of money from them. They actually fritter them and they make them flat broke. To be very honest, I
Okay.
have seen so many cases like that. So when they take all the money from the student, they send these students to us then at the end, and they ask us to train those students. So I think this is quite unfair. So if a teacher is not satisfied in the beginning, a teacher has to conduct mock examinations. He has to see that where the student falls, and if he's not ready, so it doesn't matter. He should give a little more time to him, and he should work quite hard on that student. Same like other institutions or other curriculum, that if a student's weak in any particular subject, so teachers really focus on that student. So in the same way, we more focus on the weak students.
Okay, that is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, so my question is on reading, writing, and speaking. So, what is the most common weak module you think a student have? Because what is the let me rephrase my question. In reading, writing, and speaking skill, which is the most weakest skill you are observing in your student you are studying for the past couple of years?
Okay, I think if I have got your question rightly, so I could say that I must say that the listening and speaking both are quite easiest module, quite easiest module. You can easily score well in them. So when you talk about the challenging modules, then it would be writing and reading. And if you're properly guided relating to your tips and techniques in the reading test, you can easily do that. And as far as writing is concerned, I must say, because nowadays every center has developed its templates to help the students who are weak at writing. So we've also developed some of our templates, and believe me, they work so well that our students usually get 7.5 band. So why is that? So because we have, as I said earlier, that is quite systematic over here. And secondly, we work on the real problem of the students, that what the student need. Because sometimes
Yeah.
students they have their own perceptions, their own ideology to work with, and teacher has to instill another technique, which is quite difficult. So we always give blend of that.
Mm-hmm.
We always say that okay, fine, if the student is okay with his own techniques, then definitely we mold ourselves a bit, or we teach them the things that are helpful for them to get good score. So I must say that none of the module is difficult. It lacks only practice. If you have, as I said earlier, the more practice you have, the more good scores you have. This is what I can say at the end.
Yeah. तो भी सब जैसे कि सफदर साहब भी कह रहे हैं कि कोई भी कोर्स जो है वो मुश्किल नहीं है, इट्स इम्पॉर्टेंट कि आप उसको प्रैक्टिस करें और अच्छे से करें। तो जो ये कोर्स है 20,000 इसकी फीस है, 2 मंथ इसका ड्यूरेशन है, आप रजिस्टर कर सकते हैं इसके अंदर। आज PNY ट्रेनिंग के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव से आप कॉन्टेक्ट करें और रजिस्टर करें, आप लर्न कर सकते हैं और आइल्स के लिए प्रिपेयर कर सकते हैं और अच्छा बैंक स्कोर कर सकते हैं। ओके, माई अनदर क्वेश्चन इज यू सफदर इज के which are the countries which are required IELTS course, and how can student register for the IELTS exam? Because you said कि you also guide them na, कि how to register for the examination exams or whatever. So what is these type of procedure? Could you please tell us?
Okay, actually, all speaking countries all right, around the world they require IELTS examinations, IELTS
Okay,
certification. All right, it is
okay,
out of question that you could go to any English speaking country without IELTS. Yeah, but if you talk about Northern American countries or their sites, right, they require TOEFL. But in most of the universities in England, in Canada, in Australia, right, in even other parts of Europe, they require IELTS certification from you. Secondly, it's quite easy to get yourself registered with IELTS. You can easily apply online. You just need to simply follow some instructions and you can fill the form and you can send the application and submit your fee. Otherwise, the students they have all the facilities here. If anyone wants to register him or herself, they just have to come to us with the fee, with the actual fee, and we'll get them registered. We will not add any additional charges for that
okay, okay.
because we work on a portal.
या PNY ट्रेनिंग के साथ जो है आप आइल्स के एग्जाम के लिए रजिस्टर भी कर सकते हैं, कोई हिडन चार्जेस नहीं है, जो इसकी फीस है वही आपसे ली जाएगी, बिकॉज वी हैव अ प्रॉपर सिस्टमैटिक वे टू डूइंग थिंग्स। तो अपने ऑडियंस को कहना चाहूँगी आपको कोई भी किसी भी तरह की क्यूरीज हो तो आप 1-to-1 आके भी डिस्कस कर सकते हैं PNY टीम के साथ। अच्छा, सबसे माई नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है कि what do you think if someone is registered in this course and after the 2 months, so if in some cases in the worst condition he was not able to appear in exam after 2 months, it could be happen anything. So what do you think, still if he practice, so he can appear in exam in near future or whenever he wants or she wants?
Okay, Husna, at the first I have to say that it's quite natural that students get nervous when they appear in the real examination. As you know that they have a lot of stress of examination, so they get
Yeah,
startled, they get worried, and even they get confused sometimes, right?
yeah,
So in that particular scenario, actually we conduct so many mock tests that student doesn't need to appear again and again in the IELTS exam.
yeah.
If somehow the duration it gets and still some students need some sort of assistance, we provide them free of cost, and we give them the assistance, you know, from the registrations till their examinations.
Okay, okay, okay. That's perfectly
I
fine.
must say, as I said earlier before our discussion, that if a student is not prepared fully for the IELTS examination, he shouldn't sit for that. It's just a waste of money.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Thank you so much, Safdar. हमारा the show is about to end. Thank you so much for sharing the useful information. And I think कि हमारी audience को भी इससे जो भी questions थे for अगर किसी भी कोर्स में रजिस्टर होने से पहले जो भी उनके सवालात होते हैं, तो हमने पूरी कोशिश की कि हम उसको आंसर कर सकें। आप रजिस्टर कर सकते हो इस कोर्स के अंदर। 20,000 फीस है, इसकी 2 मंथ इसका ड्यूरेशन है, और सफदर साहब जो हैं इसको पढ़ा रहे हैं। और भी आज 3 चीज़ें जो मैं आपको बताना चाहूँगी इस कोर्स की यूनिक है: मॉक एग्जाम, टिप एंड ट्रिक्स, और साथ में आपकी काउंसलिंग कि हाउ टू मोटिवेट एंड अपेयर एंड score the good band in IELTS exam. So this is the 3 things you can get from the PNY training, and the face behind of this course is Mr. Syed Safdar Abbas Naqvi. Thank you so much, Safdar, for your
Thank you so much.
thank you. तो इसी के साथ मुझे इतना
Pleasure.
साथ इजाज़त दीजिएगा। फिर हाजिर होंगे एक नए इंस्ट्रक्टर और एक नए कोर्स के साथ, क्वेश्चन आंसर सेशन विद PNY इंस्ट्रक्टर में। तब तक अपना ख्याल रखिएगा। अल्लाह हाफिज़। पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद। थैंक यू।